Alright guys, welcome to Smash Practice with Zoo and
Cactus.
Today we'll be talking about dash dancing. Should I expand on that? Okay, I'll expand on that. I'll try my best to expand on that. So, the overall schedule that we'll be doing today is we'll do a little intro on dash dancing, do a little deep dive on it, take a closer look at the mechanics, go a little bit into slow motion, look at some of the frame data for the different characters, and then talk a little bit about how to use dash dancing to manipulate your opponents with kind of tricky, deceptive movement specifically. And throughout that time, we'll be looking at various examples with different characters.
I had in mind to look at it specifically with Sheik, Marth, Fox, Falco. Anything else?
That's a lot of characters.
That's already a lot of characters, but like those are the big four that I wanted to work on. I think those are the ones that we're most familiar with as well. Maybe not so much Sheik, but practicing on Tuesday with TRK, I had some ideas with Sheik, so we're gonna throw them out there. I don't know if they're gonna be good or not from a Sheik perspective, but we'll see. Yeah.
Alright, dash dancing. Marth?
Falco. Well, we had some examples. We just want to do simple examples of dashing being used in other movements that is very effective, and like it's very clear that there's a purpose to it, and we kind of want to have those basic examples just so we can talk about why we would dash or dash dance in that scenario. So the first one, again, Zoo is our infamous Falco main here. The first one we have really...
Oh, let's turn off the green stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So Zeus set up a few examples. He wanted to demonstrate like Falco's laser into dash dance.
Well, how about let's start with
just dash.
Should we do examples? Yeah, let's do some common examples that you guys might recognize. Just like, no, how do you want to do this?
Sure.
Yeah,
I think it'd be better to start with Marth, because Marth is like the timeless classic. Like there's these long dashes that happen. Like this is the Ken dashing. Ken's dash dancing in particular was really all about the long dash dance game. It wasn't about like the dash dance spam like this where the player is like stuck in one spot and then all of a sudden like they throw out a move. It was about using long drawn out dashes to kind of manipulate his space and like create threatening movement targeted towards the opponent, so that once he actually did attack, they would usually be like on tilt because he's just been like moving at a slow, but like he had just had long drawn out movement, and it kind of like drew your eye to it and like kind of put you into a trance, honestly. And all of a sudden he would just get those grabs on you, and it was really a frustrating thing. But before anybody knew what dash dancing was, for him to come onto the scene and have a tool like that, huge impact.
Yeah, you know, I actually just watched Zero's video on dash dancing today.
Yeah.
And in it, he talks about this exact thing, about Ken being like the first to really pioneer dash dancing. And this was when wave dashing was already discovered.
Yeah.
Is that like dash dancing existed after wave dashing? Like, that's hard for me to believe.
That's hard for me to believe too. I actually don't know like the timeline, because that was a little bit before like I got on the scene. And that's also like a West Coast origin, so...
Yeah, who knows what that means, right? But so what you were saying was, like, on one hand, Ken is doing this thing with like this dash dance, and it's like, as a player in 2005, it's like, oh my god, that's so fast, right? So they might be scared into like, you know, throwing an attack or like dodging or like doing spot dodges and stuff like that, because that just looks so scary. It's like, oh my god, is he gonna attack me? Is he not gonna attack me? What does this even mean? So that's on the offensive side, using dash dance offensively, right? But what you'll see from Ken a lot is also like, if I'm Falco, if I laser or like if I do an aerial, you can like grab me, right? So like you can use dash dance to not only offensively but defensively. So it's like, oh my god, now I'm...
Oh, you got back.
Alright, so I mean, I like to think of dash dance, it's an offensive tool just as much as a defensive tool.
Absolutely.
So that's a classic example. One other thing you might see is the PP dash dance.
A little more advanced is the PP dash dance. You're specifically talking about Falco using a laser into dash dance though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Using a laser and getting the opponent to either stop their own dash dance or shield. And then you'll see PP dash dancing in front of them. And we're not going to talk about like what's actually going on. It's just, I think this is something that everybody recognizes and everybody like I don't know, probably hasn't thought about and like what this dash dance actually means and what it like represents. And that's something that we'll be talking about today. So just to demonstrate really quick, you know, you'll see, so if I laser, you might, oh, well, okay, you can do that. Or you can shield and let me
Never. So now that he's like established the laser pressure, I don't really know what's gonna happen, so I just throw out a move basically because it's hard for me to predict when he's actually going in.
And a third really popular dash dance that I think everybody in the world has seen and has drooled and fawned over is the famous Zoo dustless dash dance. Man,
I can do it.
You can't do it?
Oh. You're a little rusty.
Yeah, I'm better at it with Fox actually. It's harder with Falco.
It should be at the same time.
I don't know.
Oh, he's kind of getting it.
Right.
He's taking it like half the time. Anyway, yeah. That's just like an exaggerated, very small dash dance. There's not a lot of purpose to that one, but we're gonna kind of get into that one. I kind of make fun of the dustless dash dance sometimes because.
I mean, I wanted to show that just to show that
it looks really cool.
I mean, it's utterly useless.
It's so cool looking though.
It's only useful if you're playing Hungrybox in a match and you want if you want Waffles to say some cool commentary about
that
you.
happen?
That happened, yeah.
What?
I did that at my Genesis set. I was like 3-stocking Hungrybox and I did that, and then Waffles was like, "Oh shit, Zoo just dash dance out of this galaxy or something." Like.
So if you're trying to get the shout out from the commentator, you go for the dustless dash dance. All right, so there is some purpose to it.
And oh, someone mentioned Rest in Peace controller. Yes. Don't do it. This isn't my main controller. I'm actually trying to get in the habit of practicing in like my spares so I don't wear down my tournament controller. So that's actually one habit that we actually do recommend. But yeah, don't try to go for this dustless dash dance unless you really don't care about your controller or your fingers. I don't know. But yeah, point is, not very useful. But those are 3 common dash dances that you might have seen or you know, just you've seen from pretty popular players, and we'll go into that in this episode.
Cool. So we kind of like demonstrated a few like applications of just like dash or dash dancing or like ways that it can be initiated. We kind of want to start off like very basic and talk about dash for a little bit. It might be a little boring, I'm very sorry, but it's kind of like what we like to do here. We like to break down everything that we're doing into a very granular level so that we can see it from the bottom up. And once you kind of have that knowledge like intuitively ingrained in you, you can go back to playing the way that you play normally. It's just you're going to be better off for knowing it. And it's not something that you have to like presently actively be thinking about while you're playing. It's just once you learn it, you're going to kind of have an idea of why you're doing it, what it looks like when you're doing it properly, and you're going to be able to execute it better just because you have that knowledge, honestly.
And if
no
you
guarantees.
If you do it right and if you really make the use of it the first time, honestly, you only really need to do this maybe like once, right? And get a refresher if you like forget it. But really, like,
brush up,
yeah. But if you really internalize it well the first time, you won't have to waste time in the future. And that's what we really want to do for you guys, to make it really clear and to give like all the information for you guys so that you can get it once, understand it perfectly, and not have to do this again. So here we go.
All right. So on a very basic level, we just want to talk about dash as like a singular movement, just dash by itself. There's a lot of variability, I guess, to dash in itself as a movement. Like you can do a short dash, you can do a long dash. It's all the same thing frame-wise. If you do a very short one, it's still going to be the full dash length. With Marth, it's 27 frames. We're going to put a link up there where, so Stratocaster, I believe, he put up a thread where it's just a compendium of information. One of the posts under that is dash frame data. If you haven't seen this post, you definitely want to take a look at it. It's incredibly useful just for getting to know how long your character's dash is, as well as the important breakpoints inside of a dash. And we're going to kind of go over what those points are in a moment. So, just to go over basic things with a dash, to initiate a dash, the thing that initiates a dash is you moving the control stick a certain distance. There's actually another useful thing. We're going to toss up another link. This one was on Reddit a while ago, but I pulled off the specific one that we want. It's the control stick map. If you could actually bring that up for us too, I'd like to take a look.
I would have to do some stuff.
Yeah, don't worry about it then. All right, so you're going to see on the control stick map. You're going to see on the control stick map from standing, the different ranges where if you put your control stick into those positions, different actions will occur. The ones specifically that we're going to be looking at are the dash ones. They're on the right side because it's assuming that you're facing to the right. You really only need to be pressing into that dash space for, I think it's 1 frame just to initiate the dash. If you just do that, if you just like flick your stick in that direction, you're going to do a dash. But it's going to be like the shortest possible one. It's still going to take with Marth, if you look on that thread, I think it's 27 frames for him to complete his dash motion. Zoo is pulling it up for me right now. Yeah, 27 frames to complete his dash. So if you look at this like character X, Y, Z here, X is the number of frames before the dash becomes a run. That's an important breakpoint to know because you can tap to dash, and if you let go at any point before that happens, you're gonna do your normal dash animation and it's gonna complete. All that matters is if you're holding forward on that control stick on that frame. So there's some kind of interesting things you can do with that information. Like with Zoo playing Falco right here, he could do the tap dash where he lets go of dash immediately after starting it. And then as he's passing over frame 10, I think it is with Falco, if he goes back to pressing forward, he's already done a very short dash, but he's still gonna break into run as long as he's holding forward over that 10 point. So as soon as that happens, he would hypothetically be able to shine after doing a very short range dash. So it's kind of like gives you like these weird manipulations that you can do. I don't think anybody really uses this frame data in that way because it's really technically difficult, I think, but it's just interesting stuff to know. So the next thing that is important to look at here is Y. Y is the number of frames before you can foxtrot. It is consistent with every character. Foxtrotting happens when you do a normal dash animation, meaning you haven't broken into run. So what happens with that is, as long as you're not holding forward over your dash into run point, on frame 20, you can refresh your dash going the same direction. At any other frame during that, you can just tap backwards to do like a reverse dash, so that's not so important. But if you want to specifically do a foxtrot is dash into forward dash. It's a 20 frame gap. And then I think the last one is just when the dash ends. Yeah, the last number is just going to be when the dash ends. So some characters have like a different ending animations for their dash as well. Like with Marth, if you're coming into the very end of it, I think there's a period of time, like you guys, I don't know if you saw me doing this, but there's a dash ending animation with like Marth in particular, where if I hit A, I'm neither gonna do dash attack or jab. It's just, I can't do anything. It's just like a period of time that's like a dead zone for Marth. So yeah. I don't think that applies to most characters. I think Marth's animation in particular is a little like wonky that way, but yeah, that's gonna be something for you guys to try out with your characters on your own. Alright, so we kind of want to talk about, that's all like the frame data relating to dash. We kind of want to talk about what your options are out of that dash. I actually think it's awesome that you guys are quiet right now. I see that people are commenting on the stream chat, being a little quiet and just like listening, but
yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
I'm totally okay with that.
I actually went down to refresh it just because I'm like, wait, did I lose my internet? But no, this is good. All right, class is in session, guys.
So yeah, we went over all of like the frame data involved with dash. There's not a lot of information there. It's a small enough chunk of information that I think it's really important for you guys to just like sit there, read it over, and then really think about what it means. And after having read it, sit down and like try to apply that information in interesting ways, or just like making it kind of like intuitive to your own gameplay and to the way that you dash around the stage. Like load up the game, just dash around and use that information. So after having talked about the frame information, we also want to talk about the different options you have out of dash. there are again like a small-ish number of options that you have out of dash. From dash, you can always shield at any point. Shield is always first frame in Melee, regardless of whether you're in dash, whether you're in run, if you're walking. It's always a first frame action. If you guys are coming from Brawl or from Smash 4, during different animations in dash or in run, you have to actually, as soon as you hit shield, there's a stop animation that occurs, and then shield happens afterwards. So shield isn't instant in those games, and it kind of like it makes it feel like kind of clunky. And
I didn't know that. Okay.
That was one of the big things that like I really got hung up on when I tried to play Brawl when it first came out. Was shield wasn't first frame, and it just kind of like blew, like it really like affected me in a negative way, and it kind of made me not want to play the game very early on in its release.
So just real quick, I did want to plug in shield stopping.
Yeah,
really, just very quick. But yes, _crisp says, talk about shield stops. Pew Pew uses it a lot. So Pew Pew University, check out that YouTube channel, by the way. I think this is his first video. It's his most viewed video, I believe, as well. But he talks about shield stops. So one of the options out of a dash is the shield, as we talked about, and you'll notice that stops your momentum.
I don't know if he talked about this. You guys can tell me. I don't remember in the video, but there is a different shield stop that happens if you shield stop during run as opposed to shield stopping during dash. And
he mentioned that in his video. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Important.
Did you know that?
Yeah, you slide when you're in run.
Dude, he just knows everything. Every video, every one of these videos, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. But he's like, yeah, I knew that.
I knew that.
All right. But yeah, this is
It's very cool, very interesting, and very important to know. If you are in run towards an opponent that you're going to be sliding into them. That's actually very useful for like if you're running towards a spacey and you're trying to get deep on them with your shield so that you can hit like their rising there and then get like a big frame opportunity, like a frame advantage because they did a rising aerial into you. Just a simple application of it. Shield stops in general are for manipulating like your space and just the dash range so that you can do something like an instant backwards forward air.
I think I also helped popularize shield grab or shield stops back in the day. But there's actually a story about that. Like you would see me like do this a lot. The reason for that is because at the time I had a busted controller and I couldn't reverse laser.
So you had to use shield just to stop your momentum and turn around.
Yeah, like I would be like this or something, and I would have to like dash dance. I
remember people would like pop off whenever you did that and just like really be like blown away. He's using shield stops incredibly. I didn't know that like the reason was because you straight up couldn't do reverse lasers anyway.
Yeah, I developed that habit after like a bad controller, and then I kind of kept it for a while. But that's actually the origin, is just because I couldn't reverse laser properly with one of my controllers. Anyways, so what did we just talk about? One of our options out of a dash is the shield. What else can we do?
Shield is very strong. The next thing that we can do is jump.
Oh.
Jump opens up a whole lot of stuff because along with jump also opens up jump cancel grab. You can still do running up smash because you can jump.
So we covered this last week, and there are a bunch of things that you can do out of your jump squat.
Right.
So yeah, and that includes all the things you talked about. Jump cancel grab is one, because you can jump, or you can cancel your jump squat with a grab. You can up smash out of your jump squat as well.
Yes.
Which is why that happens. Hey. This is my roommate, Jason.
Pretend I'm not here.
He's here, he's here. You want a pear? Asian pear, it's pretty good.
I'm good.
Okay, it actually
I'm
sucks.
like slightly allergic to pears.
Dude, I'm
Why
slightly
are you
allergic
slightly
too.
allergic to Asian pears?
It's,
They're
it's
Asian.
a skin. It's a skin. I think
I
it's
cut the skin
pesticides.
off.
Yeah, the skin's off.
But it still seeps through when it's growing.
All right. So the next thing that you can do jump and all the options associated with jump. You can do dash attack. Dash attack with Marth in particular, instant dash attack isn't pretty great.
You just comboed me twice with it though.
Oh, you know what you can actually do? In the first 3 frames of dash, you can do forward smash.
Oh, is that how it works?
Yeah, in the first 3 frames, if you hit A, you'll do a slight dash forward, and then it'll cancel into forward smash.
3 frames?
Yeah, 3 frames.
How do you know that?
I don't know why I know that.
Oh my god.
It's probably a Mewtwo King thing.
Oh, so that's probably the threshold you have to get your stick in that smash range then, if it's 3 range, maybe? No, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it is. That actually does make sense. So, and then the last thing that you can do is reverse dash. Reverse dash is incredibly useful. It's kind of like what opens up dash dancing for us. So
I mean, that's what dash dancing is, right? Yeah. Well, okay, I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. You can dash out of a dash. Oh my god.
So during a dash forward, you can dash backwards at any point. Unlike the dash forward into dash forward, where you have to wait the 20 frames.
That's answering your question.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then the last thing that happens if you're holding your control stick through the dash animation, it breaks into run after whatever the frame data is that we just provided in that link. Okay. So I think what do I want to talk about after this? So yeah, that's our like deep dive section. We're just kind of talking about what the options are out of each one of those. We showed you guys what the useful things are to look at. Again, take a look at the control stick map, study that. Take a look at the dash frame data on Stratocaster's thread, study that, and then get familiar with each one of those different options in the middle of your dash. So again, it's shield, jump, dash attack. You can do forward smash, I guess, and then reverse dash. Anything that I missed?
You know more than I do, I probably. So, I mean, no, I think so. I think you got it.
All right.
I think you got it.
Okay, I think you have the interactive section up a little bit too high. I think I want to do it after purpose.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. So, we do want to talk about what the purpose of moving is. So, when you first start playing the game, like, you think about dashing and you say, like, oh, I'm just going to be moving left and right. And that's kind of like an inherently like a selfish view of what dashing is. It's how does it affect just me? It's just me moving left and right on the stage. As soon as you introduce an opponent, dashing goes from being I'm moving left and moving right to I'm moving toward and I'm moving away.
Here, actually, I'll be the shielded.
So there's a very big difference in intention when you think about, hey, I'm going to be moving toward my opponent and away from my opponent. Because there's an inherent like threat or like a defensive action that comes out of those two things. Always try and frame your movement in I'm moving toward my opponent or away from my opponent, because you're going to inherently think about what your options are relative to them rather than just like, oh, I'm moving left and right on the stage. And that'll instantly like kind of like change your perspective on how you're viewing the game.
I'll actually move this over.
It was changing things around on me.
Yeah. Is that a little better?
I think so. That's fine. Yeah, I think the chat being in the middle is actually better. Because,
I'm doing it right now. There. Yep. Cool. See, dude.
So yeah, movement. The very important thing that you want to establish before you start learning how to use movement to start like threatening your opponent is the underlying intention behind your actions. And do you want to kind of ask questions regarding that, or go into why we want to establish that?
I mean, I kind of want to demonstrate it really quick.
Sure.
Like, so let's do some role playing. How about this?
Okay.
You are an experienced dash dancer, and I'm a guy who just picked up this game.
Yeah.
I've never seen dash dancing before. I've never seen it before, and this is the first match. You haven't done anything to me. I have no idea like how dash dancing works, how advanced techniques work. I just jump in and I'm like, all right, let's fight. Well, let's say you get me to a corner and you start dash dancing.
Do you think I would do that though, if you were just completely inexperienced, or do you think I would just like run at you and then use my superior knowledge of spacing to just do like run up forward smash?
Well, if you do that, I must shield it.
Right, so if you do that, if your reaction to me moving towards you every time is to have this inherent thought that I'm gonna run at you and forward smash, the thing that ends up happening is you end up doing this. You end up shielding every time because you think every time I run at you in that way, I'm gonna hit you. So what dash dancing kind of allows us to do is say we're starting it from this point, this is kind of like where he starts to feel the threat that I can do that forward smash, because I established that the tipper range is about like that far.
And you charging up at me, that I've basically established that as like your intention to attack me.
Right.
And that's very, like, I think everyone in the chat can relate to this. Like, I don't know, it's just you're running at me, I'm being attacked. That's very simple, and you feel it every time almost when you play an aggressive player.
That's right. So what happens is, once you establish that this spacing will cause them to get hit, the run-up is what's causing me to get into this spacing. All of that leads to them feeling the intention of my movement toward them as being this certain kind of like threat, or it's this threatening action. So once they start to see that my intention when I do that is to do a forward smash or to hit them, what we do is, instead of doing that, we don't commit. We move toward them to threaten them and put them in shield, and then we can either like wait in this position, or we can dash back in case we think that they're going to try and like counterattack. And we create a little bit of space, but what's happened is they've gone into shield, and we can kind of react to that and then suddenly go for grab.
Yeah. One other thing is, if even though I'm a new player, if I was smart and I see that you're running into me, and I've already established that, well, your intention is to attack me.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we're going one layer deep, right? Honestly, like the thing that would make the most sense is, well, if you're gonna attack me every time, you know, I'm gonna avoid it. I know you're gonna attack me. I'm gonna roll. Wow. You dashed out of a dash to catch me?
I did.
Wow.
And that's something that you can do as well.
Wow. So, me as a player, I've already established that you running into me is an aggressive intention. I do this, or yeah, and I see you run into me, but then I see you run back. And that establishes your intention to catch my roll.
So in particular, this is a very good technique where the intention has been established that me moving toward my opponent is generating like a threat, and they're reacting defensively. The dash dance itself is kind of me stalling my action, my punishment action, a little bit, and hoping that they do a defensive action because I've baited them into doing it, where I've like threatened them into doing it.
And then now, what it ends up becoming is, so maybe one iteration of this, you might like dash in and then grab me. The next one, I might just shield and I might just wait for you to dash dance, right?
Right.
And that's why I think this situation happens a lot, is because, you know, experienced players will already know that like a person that is coming in will have that aggressive or defensive intention, and then it becomes like kind of a waiting game, a guessing game almost. Like, is the defensive person gonna throw an attack? Is the person who's advancing forward with the dash, are they gonna dash dance, or are they gonna actually throw an attack?
This is where knowledge of options in the scenario become very interesting, because once you know what all those options are, from both sides, if both the offensive and defensive player understands the options, I don't want to say rock, paper, scissors, but it's kind of like a chess thing where you're kind of like either trying to stall the opponent and get as much information as you can out of them before you make your decision. But if you wait too long because you're trying to gather information, it's entirely likely that they're going to suddenly act and do something before you're able to react.
Yes. I do want to throw out that I think a lot of players might do like a really advanced option that covers a lot of the defender's options, and will get away with that. But that'll only work for so long, and if you fight a player that's skilled enough that might have a better option than you, they might just beat you up every time, and if you don't understand why you're losing, then you know you'll just keep losing these interactions and ultimately losing the game. And so that's why we think that like really establishing like what dash dancing actually means will apply at every level of gameplay. Like even at just like this, I'm just rolling, and like Cactuar is just forward smashing, but this applies to like, you know, running shine and, you know, all these other things that like...
The premise is always going to be the same. It's always going to be somebody's going to establish threat. The other person is either gonna try and wait it out.
Wait. Mango
Oh.
just came. All right. I'm gonna. Do you wanna switch back and just talk for a little bit?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
We can.
Just we need a. All right. We need a welcome. Oh my god.
How are you supposed to get anything done?
Yeah.
With that many people blowing up the chat.
Peef, help us.
What's going on?
Help us,
What's going on in
Peef.
Mango stream?
Oh, thanks to Mango for welcoming us with the Mango Nation.
I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching him play All-Star. I actually really enjoy watching Mango play All-Star. Did he beat it today?
Did Mango win All-Star today? This will take like 30 seconds.
It'll take like 30 seconds. Wait. So while you guys are here, while we have you here, we kind of want to talk about what our stream is. Mango is obviously the homie. He brings everybody together. He gets everybody excited about Melee and like watching him and being in like the Mango Nation. We're on the other side of that where we really want to make other players appreciate the mechanics of the game, get better at the game, and get you to a point where you might be able to compete with Mango. Is that the ultimate goal?
No, we're not trying to overthrow Mango. No,
We're not trying to overthrow Mango.
Mango is the overlord. All respect, Mango Nation. Well, let's just say that we're trying to get everyone better, not necessarily to get better than Mango Lord.
not necessarily to get better than Mango, but to get to a point where you know how to approach the game, where you can improve at the game, and you can have a deeper understanding and deeper fulfillment while playing the game because you can see your own improvement. You can go to tournaments and like have a good time rather than be like worried about like, oh, I'm just gonna go up and go 2 and out because everybody is better than me.
Yeah. Man, I don't know what we should do. Should we keep talking about dash dancing? Would you guys want to see that? Would you want to see us play a match? Would you even be down to do that?
We've been talking about dash dancing for a while. We could play a match if you guys want to. You're here to see Zoo and Cactus play a match.
All right. So one thing that we do want you guys to do is, even if you guys missed our little talk on dash dancing, we're gonna put on the timer right now to 8 minutes.
They're saying dash dancing.
They're doing dash dancing?
I'm down to do more talking. I'm always down to do more talking.
How about one quick match?
All right, we'll do one quick match, and then we're gonna go back to talking about dash dancing.
Yeah, we're gonna play a Super 20XX match. Just real quick, what we do want you guys to do is pay attention to how we use dash dancing. Try to note any times that we used a good or a bad dash dance. Is that reasonable?
We got people shouting out 4 stages of competence. If you weren't here for our show last week, we talked about what the stages of competence are.
Yes.
And Stage 1, you don't know how much you don't know.
Yes. Yes.
If you guys haven't looked into it, you can look up our archive. You can watch our video on YouTube, I think it is. I think Zoo put it up there. Did he?
Do you want to just go over that example just real quick?
No, we're gonna play a match.
We're gonna play a match?
You.
Wait.
You're gonna get
That's not the timer.
We don't need the timer. Oh,
that's not the timer.
What is this?
That's the game counter.
The game counter.
I don't know how to turn that off. Is that in the debug? Let's just play a match. Fuck it.
We're just gonna
play we're gonna play a match. Just enjoy. Let's just go.
We're just gonna go.
Let's go. All
That's
right.
what Mango does. I feel like every time I talk about Mango,
Wait, this isn't my controller. Oh, I'm wrecked. Oh, this is so hard.
You didn't do very well. That's
Dude, this is not my controller. I can't shield drop with this controller. God, this is so hard.
I almost died from that.
That's the PP jab. Jab at high percent, pops him up, get a kill. Dude, this is not fair. I can't shield grab this controller.
Sucks. Don't rely on shield drop. Mango doesn't shield drop.
Oh shoot.
Oh. He went big. He went big.
Oh, we didn't full screen that. Oh my god.
We suck.
Oh my god.
Dude, we got so caught up.
Yeah,
with
we
playing
got.
the match.
Sorry guys. Alright. We'll full screen it. We are sorry. Alright.
We're not playing another match.
No, we're playing another match.
We're gonna talk about dash dancing.
No.
The whole point of this.
We're playing another match. They didn't watch anything. I wasn't using my controller. Let's play another match.
We're playing another match.
We're playing another match.
We'll play another match.
Alright. I'm really sorry about that, guys. That was totally my fault. I'm a huge buster for freaking not changing the screen. I even made a huge effort to not. They're saying John's. Alright, I should just play.
What is this?
Oh wow. Wow, how did that miss?
So I don't remember if you guys I don't know if you guys remember what the assignment is, but you're supposed to be pointing out examples of us using good or bad dash dancing. Do you think anybody paid attention to that?
I don't think so. Especially not after the first match where we didn't even like have the green or the game screen on. It's rough.
It is a little rough. It's a little rough to pay attention in the middle of a match when you're not trying to like break it down and when you're not like specifically studying these things. Like when we play, there's so much focus going into actually playing the game that a lot of the times like I would ask Zoo like, do you remember what I just did? And his response would be, nah. I don't remember.
I don't even remember what I did.
Alright, so we do want to get back to the actual purpose of our stream, I think, which is to talk about, at least today, the topic is dash dancing. We've kind of already gone over what the basics of dash dancing are and done like a deep dive on the applications of dash dancing, and we're just kind of getting started into talking about the purpose of dash dancing, the underlying intention of, hey, I'm moving toward or away from my opponent, not left or right. So a lot of what goes into that is when you have the idea that you want to move towards your opponent, you're creating like a threat, and the threat that is underlying your dash towards the opponent is whatever your option that you are likely to use to attack them is going to be. One of our ideas is actually to use like matches that already exist. Like the one that I really want to eventually get into is PP versus Mewtwo at Apex 2014. I feel like that is just like an amazing match to use when you want to talk about dash dancing, because you see both PP's Falco and his Marth against Mewtwo, and you see him really using his movement in like very tight spaces to really establish his intention on Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is really struggling to find hits because he's getting kind of baited out by PP's movement, by PP applying those intentions and getting Mewtwo to kind of reach into his space and just barely whiff so many times, and there's just like beautiful movement all throughout those sets. So I'd highly recommend that one.
Unfortunately, it might take me a few minutes to set that up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't test that out yet, so I don't know if you still want to do that.
Probably not. So I guess we've kind of talked about like the intention and establishing intention. Intention is very heavily again based on what options you're going to be picking in the neutral game. We did want to demonstrate a few of those things. We went through Marth's options where, very simply put, like you can run straight at the guy and you can just throw out forward smash, and it's like the most very basic intention, which is like, I'm gonna run at you, and at the very first moment possible I am gonna throw out a big move and try to hit you with it. If you can establish that kind of thing on somebody and just make them solely believe that you're gonna do that, they're obviously gonna act in a defensive way because you're Marth, and forward smash is the most incredible move, and it hits everywhere.
It hurts.
We're speaking from like a very low level perspective here. We did Dragon Fruit last week, didn't we?
We did.
We did Dragon Fruit last week. Dragon Fruit was amazing, but they're like $7 a Dragon Fruit.
It's like $7 a pound, meaning one fruit is like a pound. So
oh my god,
expensive. All right. Okay.
So again, what we were demonstrating before is that as a newbie, as a scrub, as a low-level player, basic thing that happens as a Marth player is you run at the guy and you throw out forward smash. If they think that that's what my intention is going to be, whenever I'm like at this distance and they see me dash towards them, they're probably going to put up their shield. If I stood here and waited, they might get a little nervous. Years ago, I used to be kind of known for just like standing around.
Waiting.
But it wasn't actually me just standing there. It was exactly what Zoo just said, which is I was waiting. I would establish a position very close to them and make them uncomfortable. And it was very likely that they would act. And as soon as I saw them do anything out of shield that wasn't roll, I would just forward smash. And like the risk reward to it for me was hugely in my favor because it was very likely that they were going to jump into my forward smash and get like tippered. The metagame has evolved, as Zoo just demonstrated, where it's if you shield a forward smash, they have wave dash forward and can likely get a punish in on Marth. So it's good that it's evolved from that way because it's...
I just did it there, I jumped into it.
He jumped into it and he died at like 0. But, so what the metagame like slowly evolved to is, instead of doing that, we have the dash in to establish that threat, and then as soon as they put up their shield like that, we can dash in again and grab them. If they act defensively after I've done this, I suddenly have the advantage on what to do against their defensive option. So I think there's a lot of value to not just going in and doing this and then dash dancing in place, but also understanding where you have a big advantage from the waiting perspective. Because if you do anything other than sit there and shield, I could just run up and forward to it. What, can you wave dash and punish that?
I don't know.
That was...
Oh, you jumped.
I don't know. Anyway, so that was Marth. So with Fox, this becomes a little bit different. With Marth, like Marth players shouldn't be very inclined to just be like throwing out aerials all the time. Fox and Falco are very different characters where a lot of their game is based on running at their opponent really quickly and just throwing out aerials into them. That's like a simple way to put it, but honestly, like a lot of it is that. It's knowing how to enter their space with an aerial and make yourself safe. I'm gonna put shield on. Okay, so the difference that happens when you talk about like Marth, where they're gonna be trying to establish ranges like being able to dash and then wave dash into down tilt, or dash in and then dash back and just create like space.
I'll be on the corner. That makes more sense.
So with Fox, it's a little bit different because his threat range, he can actually make it so small that like you can start an aerial from like right here, and it's gonna be out of Falco's shield grab range.
Yeah, there's not too much you can do when Fox gets in a certain range.
So a lot of what Fox wants to work on is these like really tight, these short range aerials. I'm having difficulty doing it right now, but in a spaced way where like I'm holding back as soon as I do that in air. I hit their shield, I'm holding back, I land. He can't shine out of shield. He's probably not going to be able to go for shield grab. What does he do out of shield?
I don't know. As a Falco player, one common option is laser, right?
Right.
A lot of times what happens is a Fox will have that aggressive intention on my Fox. They'll hit my shield or something, whatever. Then they'll back up and do that waiting thing that you were talking about.
Yeah, from right here.
And so
you go for that laser. Right, it stuffs a lot of my options as I go in there, and it buys you a little bit of time for you to do something.
But then the mix-up game is, if the Fox thinks that Falco's gonna laser, Lucky does this to me a lot. He'll hit me before my laser comes out.
Right, so he'll throw out the aerial into this and trade either the aerial with the laser and still hit you.
So here, you can just I'll shield your attack and then attack me again. So.
Okay.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, you mean just
yeah.
Second there. Okay.
Oh, sorry. So attack my shield. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
This one.
So that's a common scenario, and that's all part of something that you can do out of your dash. Not necessarily just dash dance. There's a lot of different options that happens here, but.
But because Fox is such a fast character, like I can very quickly take enough ground that I'm reaching this point where I can begin my nair into them. And that, I think there's actually something on the SSBM subreddit where they were talking about threat zones for different characters.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I haven't read that.
Threat zones are actually like an incredible concept because it's making you think about what their options are from a given point. And you can kind of create one in your own head about what those options are going to be. You think about Fox, you think that he has like running shine, he has dash in, short hop nair, he can do like a full jump one like this where he covers this kind of space and then holds back, and it's really hard to actually punish this one. like not laser wise.
Yeah.
Because you can't just run in and shield grab it, or I mean run in and dash dance grab it unless you're very, very precise. So a lot of times you'll actually see Mewtwo King's Fox use this kind of technique because he's taking the space above and in front of you, and then if you move in at all, you get hit. And then
there's not much of a follow-up that at least Falco can do from this.
right, because he barely taps you. Again, you're like kind of on my retreating side, but like I can choose to hold forward and through you instead so that you can't get that crouch cancel shine. That's a very good one. And then you have like dash in and grab, which is just common throughout any character, really.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a lot of options. You have to think about what the effective range of all those options are and how their movement in any particular point affects how quickly you can react to that option, or just kind of like defend yourself from those, or even act yourself against them to prevent them from doing anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Next one we want to kind of talk about is Sheik. Sheik is a bit of a different one. I'm not a Sheik main, but I was kind of sitting down with a Philadelphia Sheik player. His name's TRK on Tuesday, and we're kind of talking about like what are Sheik's options like from dash and from wave dash. And Sheik is again very different from both Marth and from the Spaceys, where from dash dance she actually doesn't have a lot of options. So I was talking to Zoo about this earlier, where it's what does Sheik do from dash dance? And she's really just trying to establish a space on the stage and then hold it, as opposed to like really using it offensively, unless she takes like the space right above and in front of somebody, because she can do auto cancel forward her.
I think it'd be really good to show this by turning on the collision bonus.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, because then you can really see like these walls that you're talking about. What was the term you used? Use the term.
The threat zones.
Sure, yeah. Threat zones. Because that's essentially what those hitboxes are, if you look at that. It's like, you can clearly see the wall.
Right. So, seeing this, like, she really wants to move in and establish this certain position in front of you so that she can do this auto cancel forward air in front of you. Excuse me. In front of you, and
Nice.
just kind of like take this spot safely. And then if she needs to retreat, or if you're slightly slow, she'll throw out this forward air right here and stuff your approach. Or if you like sit there and you try and shield, she'll go in and grab you. So again, like her entire intention with her movement is to take this space. Nobody would do a forward smash there. I don't know if there are any Sheik players that actually intentionally go for forward smash.
Only one, but I don't even want to give him credit, so let's not even talk about it.
No, we gotta give the shout out.
Nah.
If there's a Sheik player that goes for forward smash, I'm all about it.
Nah, we can't encourage this kind of behavior.
Alright, so, like I said, the underlying intention to your actions is kind of what establishes the threat behind your dash. You gotta really think about your own character and think about like if dash dancing is like the most appropriate thing, or if you're just using it to like make your movement a little bit harder to read or ambiguous. Did you want to talk about ambiguous position? I noticed you put that in there, and I don't think I did.
Oh, I meant ambiguous position as like using dash dance as a defensive tool. So like in the neutral, where, I mean, this wouldn't really apply so much for Falco, more so as like Falcon and Marth specifically. So I don't know if you want to switch that.
No, I don't.
You don't, exactly. Yeah, why not? So we've been kind of talking about using dash as an offensive option to give you an advantage and to force a reaction out of your opponent.
Hold on. So with the 20XX pack, there are all these different skins. What is
Yeah,
this?
what is this? Oh my god.
What is this skin? Is this the all your base guy? He looks like the guy that says all your base
Are belong.
all your base are belong to us.
Roses are red, violets are blue. All my base are belong to you.
Oh, that's so romantic. I'm wooed right now. Alright.
I actually don't know if that's him or not, but
I don't know what this is.
oh yeah, it's the all your base guy. Cool.
Oh, it is. Sick.
Alright. So yeah, we talked a lot about using dash and dash dance specifically as kind of like an offensive tool to really, I guess, abuse your own intention of either attacking, not attacking, whatever, on your opponent and putting them in a bad position. However, your dash, specifically dash dance, I find is something really hard to approach as, like, if I'm someone that is on the offensive, if someone is just dash dancing in place, it's really hard to like catch them because it's really ambiguous, like where I should actually attack. And so,
where do I?
Yeah, like where are you supposed to
I kind of have
grab?
to like randomly go for it and like make an assumption about what your position is going to be. So
unless you have like a read on whether I'm gonna go back or forward or all those things, but it's kind of scary to have to commit to that, to something that you can't really react to. It's actually a guess, right? Because dash dance is so fast. Like, so I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about like how to kind of predict someone's dash dance, how to stop it, because as a Falco player, that's not something I think about as much. It's actually very straightforward because I have lasers.
Oh, I'm so jealous of lasers.
Yeah, for me, most of the time the mix-up is like, okay, I shoot a laser, do they stop dash dancing? Okay, cool, now I can do whatever I want. Or I specifically shoot a laser during their dash back and then get them in that hit stun while they can't dash.
I actually didn't prepare anything for this topic in particular at all, but over the years, like, the way that I've approached other players' dash dances has really changed. So, I think around like 2007 or 2008, like dash dancing was becoming like more and more popular. I was finding a problem with like very like dash dance heavy foxes as Marth, and before I made the before I made the fox switch myself, I started having to like come up with like ways to view dash dancing that like really benefited how I would approach that very like dash dance defensive play. And what I ended up coming up with was like two different things in particular. One was at the center of every dash dance is essentially like their actual like center of gravity, so to speak. It's the focal point of their dash dance. I mean, you can change it up and like do this kind of stuff to like move the center, but the center is essentially always the same. Like if I watch the range of the dash, I can kind of see where the center point of their dash dance is, and they can choose to move it, but there's still always a center point that they are moving along with it. And like wave dashing getting weaved into that also, it moves the center point of the character themselves. So along with that, I also established that there are points at the front and back of a dash dance where they have to make a decision if they want to maintain the dash dance. And I think that's more what you're trying to go for. So with Marth in particular, he has this amazing tool where he takes up space and can poke an area. With Marth, what I found myself doing is actually like a very primitive version of what Marth players do now, which was I would try to take up space and do exactly that. I would take up space and I would establish a position where I would either spam like a delayed forward air, or I would go in and put myself where the front of their dash dance range was, and it would just kind of like poke it. And because I would do that, it would frustrate them, and they would be much less likely to start dash dancing near me because
in that range.
In that range in particular, because every time they would hit that specific spot, I would react and down tilt it, and it was very jarring to the Fox player, so they would be much less likely to establish a strong dash dance game because of it.
Yeah, that definitely breaks up their rhythm, and it's like you get hit and like they're not used to the hit stun. It's like, oh, how do I start dashing? Like I'm stuck. And then they're gonna like run away or hop or something, shield, whatever. And yeah, jarring is the right word for sure. And I think that's the same approach that Falco takes to dealing with dash or dealing against dash dancing. If you watch me against any dash dance character with a not Falco, I have no idea what to do because I don't play that game. But yeah, I mean, really what Falco's lasers does is it sends a hitbox in a range to prevent or to kind of stuff that dash dance. But unfortunately, with something like Marth, you have to actually get in that space and put your own body at risk. But same concept, right?
It is. I do kind of want to... We could very easily go from the dash dance conversation into a neutral game discussion, but I think I want to actually like hold that off until a following week. Like for now, we just want to establish like dash dancing by itself, what you're trying to do as far as intention goes, and then we want to kind of give like a digestion period. So in a following week, we are going to get more into neutral game discussion, but we do kind of want to wrap up the dash dance game discussion.
I think so.
For now,
yeah, because we're getting there's a lot we can talk about, and we're kind of branching off. So.
And we actually really want to eventually move over to the Melee It On Me podcast, but we're not in a rush to do that yet. So to kind of wrap it up, I know we were talking about dash dancing, but again, I think it's very important to discuss intention when you're talking about dash dancing, and to sum up what kind of intention you're going for. Your intention is to be deceptive. Like, you're going to be putting the intention of your actions behind your dash dance, but the purpose of that, you want to be deceptive in what you're doing. You want to hide, you want to conceal information from your opponent, or, my favorite, you want to provide false information. If you sit there and you dash dance in front of your opponent and you have no idea what you're doing, your opponent has no idea what you're gonna do, they are very likely to kind of react in an almost random way, and it's likely that they're just gonna attack into you, and you're gonna have difficulty reacting because you're just so busy just going wild, hitting left and right on the control stick. Think about how easy it is to anticipate and react to what your opponent is doing if you have fed them a line and you've kind of told them that you're gonna do one thing, and then opened up the space that you told them that you're gonna be in, and then they attack into it. It's creating the opportunity for them to make a bad decision and for you to punish them. And that's kind of that's the way I sum up dash dancing in itself. I'm a very bait heavy player. Other players will tell you that I camp in front of them. I play a very aggressive baiting game as close as I possibly can. I get very comfortable with staying very close to my opponent, and even if I get wrecked by that opponent for a long period of time because I'm not comfortable with them yet, I will force myself into those close quarters until I get to have that very intimate knowledge of their gameplay. So yeah, things to think about when you're thinking about dash dancing and intention and deceptive movement. Do you have any comments to follow up with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are different play styles. I wouldn't say that's the one ring to rule them all play style, unfortunately. But that's definitely one thing that a lot of people can improve on. It's certainly not something that I think about very often. I mean, I think a lot of players approach this game as I have an option, it's very powerful, I'm gonna do it. And even if my opponent does it, even if my opponent knows what option I'm gonna pick, if it still wins, it still wins. And I think a lot of people take that approach, but that's only gonna work for so long. Mm-hmm. And techniques, fortunately, in this game are not all powerful. Mm-hmm. And you can't just spam moves without, some kind of consequence if it's that telegraphed. At some point, you can't just throw it out, and there's nothing without a counter to it. So that's why, thankfully, this game has that aspect, that kind of deceptiveness, that kind of rock paper scissoriness to it, and that's not something that I've really accepted until just recently, and it's something that I'm still working on. But yeah, hopefully that was clear with this dash dancing example that we went over, with the dash, this kind of very simple corner example. Again, it's just we were rolling and we were doing a dash dance grab, but that really applies to all levels of play.
It does.
And the fundamentals that we show really spawn into all of the more complex options as well. So yeah, I would say those are the main points, right?
Yeah. Again, I know that I can go off and ramble for a long time on things and get a little bit confusing when I'm talking. If you guys have any questions that you want us to elaborate on or respond to, or have other people who also participate in the Smash Practice streams discuss with you, we do have all kinds of social media that you can reach out to us with. We have a Facebook group where we try to participate actively. I'm trying to be a little bit more active about putting ideas in there, putting interesting tidbits, interesting information, maybe putting up quotes or exercises for you guys to go through. Definitely recommend joining our Facebook group. It's just the Smash Practice Facebook group.
It's just all in the panels under the stream, so it's all there. The gigantic icons.
If you guys have a question that you're a little bit more embarrassed to ask, just because you don't want to sound stupid or whatever, I recommend emailing our Smash Practice Gmail, and we'll answer them personally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. I'd be down to play some matches.
Yeah, I kind of want to too because I got wrecked. Fuck.
You did get kind of wrecked.
Dude, it takes a while to get used to Falco.
You gotta learn how to play without needing to warm up at all.
Wait, I'm Falco. Alright guys. Hopefully that was useful. We're gonna play some more matches and try to maybe take a look at what we talked about. I think I'm still Pal.
Also, we are gonna play like a match and then answer questions in the stream.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions or just stuff you want us to answer, I think we should actually play 2 stock matches just so that we can like more actively interact.
Wait. Rain64 says, no, not Rain64. Where was it? Trotsking? Trots is 2 eyes though.
Why is it 2 eyes? Why is it 2 eyes? Why are the icons huge?
Trotsking says, wow, those icons is huge.
Oh, it's
are huge. Icons is plural.
No, dude, you gotta accept that other people have different vernacular than you. You can't judge a man just because he structures his sentences a little bit differently. It's messed up.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Oh, come on. What?
Kidding.
Alright.
How do you get the 20XX? That's actually a great question, and that kind of information is all over the place. Go to Smashboards, go to Melee Workshop. I'm sure you can find it on your own. We can't directly give you those links just because it's against our personal policies, I guess.
Yeah.
But the information is there and not very difficult to find.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of information on it, which that's actually a problem sometimes, I think. There wasn't really anything in between, unfortunately. Oh, there's one.
How do you practice? We never talked about shadow boxing. Oh my god.
Oh.
Dude, I'm down to talk about shadow boxing for a little bit.
It's already 10 though.
It is already 10. Would you guys, whoever's still watching, would you guys want us to talk about shadow boxing for a bit? I think we're gonna make it a topic for a future episode and like spend a lot of time.
I think that's not something we want to glaze over.
I would be down to talk about it for a little bit though. Only if they really wanted us to.
I'd rather play.
You would rather play. Zoo would rather
I actually haven't played for like weeks. So,
yeah, I know. We talked about it before, and I told you I've been on my grind.
You have, yeah. I haven't had a chance to play since Apex at all, so it's rough.
Zoo has actually been doing a lot of work with the Smash practice stream. He's kind of like tasked me with coming up with like content and ideas, but on the backside of it, he's been doing like all of the technical work. So huge shout outs to you for putting in so much work. Honestly, I said this I think last week, but without Zoo, like this really wouldn't be happening.
It's a partnership, right? I don't think I'd be able to carry out a stream like this just on my own quite yet. So. Talk quickly about shadowboxing. We can do that probably.
These other guys are saying we should save it for a future episode, though.
It's 50-50. I think we'll save it. All right.
Yeah, Zoo is calling that we'll save it.
I would rather play Smash.
If it was me, I would say it could go either way.
You're not Ken though. We're past 2008.
I'm not Ken.
All right. Come on, Falco. That covers both. Oh, I had that. I read it at least.
Wow, Cloud killed me.
Wow. Oh, come on. Pal Falco's not that different. I tried him a little bit, and it's just like the end of the down air, or like the end of the down air is like a little different. Like, if honestly, Falco's stronger in Pal because all the other characters got nerfed, so if we look at it like that, it's okay, but I mean, it's not very different, honestly.
Right. Corn3D points out that Pal Fox sucks way more, and like you said, it's just that the other characters are toned down a bit. Falco got a little bit of a nerf with the down air, but honestly, you can use that in like interesting ways, I think, and it still covers like edge options really well, even with the late down air.
I think in the 20XX world, that late down air like might actually be like a good thing because it ends up in a lot of weird follow-ups and weird mix-ups.
Do you know if there's anything different with like the shine angle or anything like that, or is it all pretty much completely the same?
I think it's just the down air.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, we'll play like 2 more matches, but we really do want to raid the Melee Omnis raid, so.
What the fuck?
Check the roll.
Yeah. I tried a dash attack.
This guy's actually asked this question a few times. He sees us using reverse bear a lot for approaches.
That's not true.
If we are doing that, we're doing it by accident for sure. Unless we're doing it like middle of a combo to kind of like carry the person. Reverse bear doesn't have a lot of advantages over Nair, as far as I know. I think Nair actually, for both characters, has less landing lag, has about the same hit stun, maybe a little bit less hit stun because bear is stronger. I'm not very good at like commenting on my own matches as I play, unfortunately. If you have questions about something that I'm doing, I'm pretty good at remembering what was going on.
I will annotate. That would be like later on, not like live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Like commentary later on, and just like review my own.
Oh,
matches.
I guess there's that, but like annotate, like just like taking notes on like, oh, this timestamp. I was going for this.
Yeah, I can easily do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Like old matches.
Alright. I think this is my last one, then we should raid. I'm so down to raid. Cool. I don't know if that's what M2K does actually. Sits there and practices on level 1s and just...
I mean, I imagine him just doing that whenever there's no one else around. Like, otherwise he's just like, he doesn't mind practicing against, like, literally, like, my sister who picked up the game, and he'll still, like, practice on her. Like, that's, like, his stream half the time, where he's just, like, practicing against noobs. Or at least when he was with Smash Studio, he was doing that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys,
Oh,
I was stepping on my controller. I hope you guys liked the stream, at least the portion of it where we're talking about dash dancing. We had the mango raid, which was a little distracting, but it's still pretty fun.
that was crazy.
It was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys have any last second questions, I guess we'll be on for like another 2 minutes. But at 10:15, 1 minute, we are gonna raid the Melee on Me stream.
We should do that, definitely.
I'm definitely down to do that.